This absolute thing of beauty is a Grand Banks 54. This is absolutely stunning. Look at this. Now what's nice about this is it's the proper old school looking Grand Banks, but in fact it's a very modern boat. It's got a planing hull, it's high performance, it's got a lot of carbon in the build, and things like these planking lines down here, which are very traditional, are moulded into the hull. They're not actually planks, obviously. Interesting fact about this actually is this hull is spray finished and all grip. You can have whatever colour you want. And these capping rails here, these are all like a composite material, so they're completely maintenance free. And you see a lot of that around the outside of the boat. And the whole point of this is to meld these beautiful traditional lines with a very modern and functional boat. You can see even back here, this transom, this beautiful wooden transom, is actually a composite material. So like in the olden days where you'd have to strip this and revarnish it and cover it up to keep the sun from damaging it, that kind of thing, no longer the case. This is just super hard wearing and stays exactly as it is. We've got the bathing platform here. It's worth mentioning, in fact, that the 54, when they talk about 54 on this, they're talking about just the hull length. To here, most people are including the bathing platform and areas like that these days. So if you compare this to most boats, it would be like a 60. But as I say, they're calling it a 54 because it's a 54 hull on this one. We've got the cockpit area here. As you can see, the table folds out. Now once we get into this area where it's covered up and you've got canopies that go around and so forth, and this whole thing can be enclosed, all this is real teak, because of course you don't have the maintenance problems here because it is covered up. So all of this around here is teak. In fact, these windows on both sides are dropping windows, so you can completely open this area all the way out. We've got access to the Flybridge here as well, the traditional Grand Banks wide side decks. We're going to take a look at all of that, but I'm going to take you inside first of all and give you the full tour. So we'll head in through here. This again, very traditional looking Grand Banks with the teak. It looks fantastic. It's a feast for the eyes. Big windows, lots of natural light, and then things like the rail in the center here, because it is a proper offshore boat. There's a nice saloon area on this side, the table that folds out. So if you want more table, you can have it. And then this great little conversation area on this side. This is lovely with a coffee table in between. That's fantastic, isn't it? And that is a nice space. This is a galley up layout, as you can see. In fact, there is an option to have a galley down layout, and I'll explain that when we go a little bit further through the boat. We've got things like the wine rack in here as well. Oh, let's undo that and I can open it. There we go. So it's an actual wine cooler, not just a wine rack. And then the galley is here. Again, see this beautiful teak everywhere. Lovely. It's all electric cooking on this one. We've got, of course, refrigeration, all that kind of stuff about the place like this. But yeah, that is a nice space, isn't it? Cutlery drawers again, this woodwork. They're a nice quality boat, these. All Miele cooking. Very nice. And that one there, singing us the song of its people, is the dishwasher. Oh, fantastic. We've not had one of those for a while, have we? This lovely teak and holly flooring. Class act, isn't it? What's in here? Ah, AV equipment, I think I'm right in saying. Yeah. Marvellous. Helm is here, very Grand Banks to have the vertical wheel and the door right next to the helm. These of course are drop sections, so you can bring those down like so for sitting, or have them up as bolsters. Across here then, chain counter, we've got bow and stern thruster, we've got the engine instrumentation here in the centre, and then these Garmin screens you can configure however you wish. So we have navigation on this one currently, and we have camera system on this one that's showing the engines, which we'll go and take a proper look at shortly. Autopilot is here as well, of course, engine controls, communications and so forth. But a nice view out from here. Feels very proper, doesn't it? Let's head on down to the lower deck. So I mentioned you can have a galley down layout, so the saloon would get extended up here, and then down here this has got a 3 cabin layout, but this cabin will be given over to the galley basically. So what I'd imagine happens is this bulkhead here will get pushed further back, because of course that's where the galley is at the moment. What you do have in here, It's a small double or a generous single. Depends how friendly you are. And you've got the laundry facilities in here as well, as you can see. Bits of storage. No, try again. Circuit breakers are in there. Bits of storage are in here. There we go. So yeah, quite a compact cabin, that one. But what you've got then on the other side is this very generous second cabin over here. This is lovely. Look at this. This one, you can take the bed out of the, try again. You can take the bedside table out of the centre and you can move the bed across. I think that one goes across there, and then the bedside table drops back in on the outside. So if you want a double there, then you can have it. You've got tons of headroom up at this end. Look at this. This is really high ceiling here. Of course, it drops a bit as you go back under the beds because that's where the helm station is, but you do have the step down as well. It takes you down to a lower level. Behind here then, you've got wardrobes and drawers and all that kind of stuff is all tucked away there. And this one has an ensuite in here. Big shower, heated towel rail, and again that lovely teak, even the toilet seat. Proper, isn't it? And of course that closes thusly. If we head forward again, we will discover, well, there's a little bit of storage here for a start, like so, and then owner's cabin in the bow. Very nice. This has its ensuite in here. It feels so solid in this boat. Everything feels solid. In fact, they've put a lot of composite into the build to keep the weight down to get the performance, but it doesn't change the way it feels. And look at this beautiful woodwork, the way that this sweeps around. Just fantastic. Of course, this is storage all the way around here. There is, I think I'm right in saying, drawers under the bed. I am indeed. Ooh, hats. I might have to see if I can pilfer one of those before I go. And then we've got drawers over here. And this one then is just a huge, it's almost like a walk-in wardrobe, isn't it? That's a really big one there. Right down to floor level. Lovely. So that is the interior, but it's very warm and traditional and very lovely, isn't it? We like that very much. This one here, incidentally, sirens in the background, hope you can't hear that too much. We get that in Southampton. This is the switch panel, so it's all of the boat battery switching and mains, all that kind of stuff, lights and pumps and all that sort of thing is all switched from there. And the generator control is there as well. There we are. Lovely, isn't it? Let's press on around the outside and I'll show you the engine space. These, in fact, are more fridge drawers out here. So plenty of cold storage. We've got the transom doors on both sides, and then these steps will take us on up to the Flybridge. Again, look at the way this is finished, the stainless steel edging around in places like this. It's very, very nice. That's my watch going clunk. And Flybridge is up here. So nice and deep-sided. We've got another bar area up here. We've got the seating, of course, around this table. Look at the way that they've integrated this. It's completely smooth when you run your finger over it, but it's actually inlaid with the lighter wood. It's quality, isn't it? Stid seats here. We've got the Garmin screens again. We've got the Volvo Penta instrumentation, the autopilot, all that sort of stuff is all repeated on the top. And of course, the view from here, absolutely fantastic. Welcome to Southampton Boat Show in the sunshine. Lovely. If I spin right on round, look how high-sided this is. This is right up to, well, waist level is about there. So it's, yeah, it's well up above waist height here, which is great. We've got the fridge up here, we've got bits of storage up here. Got the hard top on this one as well. And then back here is the boat deck. You can, if you prefer, have the tender to go on the bathing platform. There'll be a mechanism for that, and have this then as sunbathing. But of course, this is generally the layout you'd have to have the crane here, as you can see, and then the tender up here on the boat deck. There's also the barbecue is up here, and then we've got storage. See, even here, it's got a little bit of wood trim on it. Fabulous. Excellent. Very good indeed. And then we've got nav light up on the top and so forth. Right, let's have a wander around the deck and I'll take you down and show you what makes this boat go, because it's quite impressive. This will take us forward. That's what I mean about these lovely wide side decks. Again, this beautiful stainless steel detailing. These are the engine vents here. Just huge, but they are huge engines. We'll come to that. These lovely stainless steel scuppers in places like this. This is the side door from the helm. We saw that when we went out the inside. And then this is very Grand Banks, the way this all sweeps up and around. And this beautiful capping rail, as I say, no longer real wood, so maintenance free, which is very much a bonus. Very clean and uncluttered decks, aren't they? And then an ultra anchor right up there on the bow. Fabulous. And here's how she looks from here. Nice. Okay, let's press on back down this side. And we'll finish up with the lazarette and the engine space. Now this is very much an owner-operator size of boat, so no crew cabin on this one. And then the access is down here. For the lazarette and the engines. Fantastic. So if we look aft first of all, you can see we've got things like water maker, we've got access to the stern gear down here as well. We've got battery charging, all that kind of stuff is all tucked away down here. And then if I spin on around, we've got this door that closes off. It's clipped back at the minute. You can see it's a big, thick, substantial door here. And this takes us then into the engine space. Look how even in here you've got the teak on the floor. It's not a cheap boat. It's not trying to be. It's trying to be a very, very proper and very nice boat, and that it does well. Let's come right into here. These engines are a pair of D13 900s. The standard is D11 700s. These are an upgrade, and that's why this boat will reach over 30 knots, which for the style of boat is absolutely fantastic. She'll cruise there for 26. At 21 knots, you're looking at about 460 miles of range. But as ever, you can drop this right back to displacement speeds and you'll punt that range up past 1,000 miles. These are a conventional shaft drive. We've got the gearboxes here on the back of the engines. We've got the shafts then that run down through underneath there. Big engine vents, all that kind of stuff. And the generator then, that lives in the middle. Thusly, it is possible, if you want to do serious maintenance, to get sections of the floor up. So there is another way into here, if required, but for general maintenance and daily checks and that sort of thing, well, this is where you would come in. Look at these wonderful seacocks down here. Absolutely fantastic. Fire system is there as well. There's an option to have IPS. If you wanted to have IPS pod drive, you could. That can be done. But I think the shafts are the more traditional setup, and I think suit this boat very well. But if you wanted that additional manoeuvrability, you could have it. But you have got bow and stern thruster on this one, so you have got very decent manoeuvrability regardless. And I think that's about it. As I say, no crew quarters on this one. I like that they put a rail here to help you in and out. That's very helpful. And we'll drop that one back down behind me. like so. And I think that's about it. Let's have a last little glimpse in here because it is so lovely. And then we'll go and finish up on the bow. Fantastic. Huge thanks to Boat Showrooms, the UK dealers for these. I'll put a link to those guys in the description, and to Grand Banks, of course, and to you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments, and we will catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.